It was a typical Monday when I decided to pay a surprise visit to the cardiology outpatient clinic at São Vicente Hospital. At 68 years old, after 40 years in medicine and 15 years as head of the department, I still enjoyed walking the corridors to observe how patient care was being handled. I dressed simply, dark dress pants, a basic white blouse, and comfortable shoes. Nothing that would identify me as a doctor. I wanted to see reality through the eyes of an ordinary patient. I arrived at reception at 2:30 p.m. The clinic was busy, with about 15 people in the waiting room. I went to the counter where two young receptionists were animatedly chatting about their weekend. "Excuse me," I said politely. One of them, without looking up from her computer, replied, "You'll have to wait, ma'am. We're busy." I waited a few minutes. Other patients arrived after me and were immediately attended to. A man in a suit was greeted with smiles and, "Yes, sir." A young pregnant woman had her chart filled out in seconds. I tried again, "Excuse me, I'd like to." "Ma'am, I already told you to wait your turn," the same receptionist interrupted, now with irritation in her voice. "Try not to disrupt other people's work." I sat in the nearest chair and observed. For 40 minutes, I saw elderly people being treated with impatience, some having to repeat information several times because the staff weren't paying attention. An elderly man with a cane was practically ignored when he asked for help filling out a form. Dr. Rodrigo, one of the newer residents, passed by the reception. He greeted the staff with familiarity and jokes. Our eyes met briefly, but he didn't recognize me without my lab coat and outside the usual context. At 3:20 p.m., I was finally called. "The old lady over there in the blue chair, come on, we don't have all day." I approached the counter again. The visibly impatient receptionist asked, "Name?"
Dottore Elena Carvalho.
"Your name, ma'am, not the doctor you're seeing," she said dismissively. "It is my name."
Elena Carvalho.
She typed into the system, and her face changed completely. She turned pale, her eyes widened. She stammered, I'm sorry, doctor, I didn't know it was you." "Evidently," I replied calmly.
Could you call Dottore Rodrigo, please?"
In less than 2 minutes, Rodrigo appeared, running, clearly nervous.
Dottore Elena.
What a surprise! I didn't see you come in.
If you had known.
If you had known, would you treat me differently from other patients? He swallowed hard. "No, of course not, doctor." "Excellent. Then explain to me why that gentleman over there has been waiting for 2 hours for simple information about an exam result." Rodrigo looked at the elderly man I pointed to. I'll check immediately."
And the lady crying in the corner?
"Do you know how long she's been waiting?" "I'll take care of it now, doctor." "I don't want you to take care of it now because of me, Rodrigo. I want you to take care of it always, for everyone." The receptionist tried to interject. "Dr. Helena, it was a misunderstanding, I didn't." "It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was discrimination. You treated me poorly because I'm elderly and was dressed simply. How many other patients receive the same treatment?" Silence fell over the reception area. Other staff members approached, sensing the tension. I continued, "I've worked at this hospital for decades. I built my career based on respect for every patient, regardless of age, social class, or appearance. Today I discovered that some of you have forgotten these basic principles." "Doctor, can we speak privately?" Rodrigo suggested.
No.
"This conversation is necessary here, in front of everyone. The patients deserve to hear." I turned to the waiting room. "I apologize to all of you for what you witnessed today. This is not the standard we expect from our hospital." An elderly lady who had been waiting for hours stood up. "Doctor, it always happens. We get used to it." "You shouldn't get used to it."
You deserve respect.
I turned back to the team. "Tomorrow at 8 a.m., I want everyone in my office. We will review our patient care protocols. And I want weekly reports on patient satisfaction, especially from the elderly." The receptionist tried one more time. "Dr. Helena, I really didn't know." "And what if it were just an ordinary elderly patient? Would they deserve less respect? Should the treatment be different?" She lowered her head, without a response. "Starting today, we will implement a humanization program in patient care. Every staff member will undergo training on dignity and respect for the patient. And there will be constant supervision. Dr. Rodrigo nodded vigorously. Yes, doctor. We will make the necessary changes. I hope so. Because if there's one thing I've learned in 4 decades of medicine, it's that our primary function isn't just to cure diseases. It's to care for people. And people deserve dignity, no matter how old they are. Before leaving, I addressed the patients again. Please, never accept being treated with disrespect. You have rights, and this hospital has a duty to respect them. As I walked through the corridors back to my office, I reflected on how age discrimination is subtle yet devastating. How many elderly people remain silent when mistreated, thinking that's just how it is. How many professionals forget that one day they, too, will grow old. That day, my identity as chief doctor gave me the authority to confront the problem. But what about those who don't have that voice? It was a harsh lesson on how privileges can mask painful realities that others face daily. The next day, during the meeting, we implemented concrete changes: monthly training sessions, care evaluations, and a direct channel for complaints. More importantly, we established that patient respect would be a fundamental criterion for remaining on the team. Months later, patient feedback changed completely. The man with the cane stopped me in the corridor to thank me. "Doctor, now they treat me like a person." That phrase stayed with me. Because deep down, that's what we were doing, reminding everyone that patients are people, not numbers or inconveniences. And that growing old should not mean losing your dignity.